My one piece of advice to the public when considering any sort of non-surgical or surgical treatment is to do your research and then to go and do it again. That means look into the procedure themselves, what's involved, what the recovery time's like, how it can go wrong, how it can go right, what to expect. Also look into the practitioners themselves who do these procedures. What are their qualifications? How much experience do they have? Ask them the questions. What happens when things do go wrong? What will you do for me? But also ask yourself, do I really want this procedure? Is it the right thing for me? Have I got the financial resources to be able to afford it, but also to be able to afford further procedures should things not quite go to plan? SafeFace can help you answer all of those questions, and if something is not immediately obvious on the website, you can contact them and an expert will get back in touch with you with help in finding your answers. I agreed to become the SafeFace Public Ambassador because I really believe that the public need a trustworthy, continually updated source of information on non-surgical procedures and on practitioners. Who can you trust? Who can you rely on? Where can you go for information? And where should you really avoid? And that's what SafeFace does. The process of accreditation with SafeFace is a really thorough one, surprisingly thorough one actually. When I went through it, and I didn't get any easy treatment actually at all, I was really quite nervous. Every single step of your clinical practice is really assessed and reviewed, from if you are who you say you are, if your qualifications are real, to your actual clinical procedures, your protocols, your files, your what to do when things go wrong, where you buy your product from. Everything is very thoroughly assessed, and that to me is something that should really reassure the public, and that you know that you are getting what you are being promised. I'm always fairly exasperated by the press coverage of non-surgical procedures, actually to be fair, and also surgical ones too. They always come in two extremes. They're either, this is a botched job, this is a celebrity who's done something crazy, this is how it all goes wrong. That's one end of the negative spectrum. Right to the other end, which I would say is as damaging in a different way, which is everyone's having these procedures, they're light and easy, you can do them in the lunchtime, they need no thinking about whatsoever, and there are no long-term consequences of having them. Those are the sort of two extremes, and there's very rarely any sensible middle ground written about at all. That's frustrating. When I see sort of 2-for-1 type offers for facelifts and Botox and non-surgical procedures, I'm always very, very wary of that. On the one hand, you're aware that behind this, the practitioner is running a business, and running a very costly business, and they do need to make money, and you can acknowledge that, but also that practitioner needs to be running an ethical and honest business. And my suspicions are that when things are being offered cheaply, corners are being cut, and when corners are cut, it's always the patient that tends to suffer. It's very important that you look at the calibre and the qualifications of the person doing your procedure, and I would always advise that you choose medical practitioners over non-medical based ones. And the reason for that really is not in the quality of the procedure being done, but actually in what happens when, in that very small percentage, things do go wrong, because it's then that the experience and the knowledge base of that practitioner will really come into the fore in helping you to correct the problem and make sure that the end result is as good as you could possibly want it. As with many different medical disciplines, there's a lot of trust involved, trust on behalf of the public towards the practitioners. I think the more we can be seen, we medical practitioners, to be coming together and saying, actually, we are going to be transparent in what we're going to do. We're going to publish various rates of success and various rates of failure. We're going to allow ourselves to be scrutinised and regulated. That allows the public to have more trust in us. That trust should never be blind. It should always be a trust with a certain process behind it. SafeFace gives the public somewhere to go so that that trust is much, much more informed and a lot less blind.